lot of people or students are really hyped about machine learning, and what they do is basically just start doing Andrew NG course and then start building projects on top of that. I mean, hey everyone, this is me Rachit and welcome to yet another video. Today we'll be talking about what I would have done if I was not from IIT. So the first year, I remember, especially the first initial months, a lot of your time goes into cribbing about IIT, like you were not able to crack it, and a lot of your students who were in your batch were able to crack it. And then you also try to find some relationships like, oh, okay, my friend is also in IIT Kanpur, okay, your friend is also in IIT Kanpur. So a lot of discussion goes into this topic for a few months. And I think for the first year, you still have a bit resentment about why you were not able to crack it, and you self-question your worth, you self-question your achievements in life. And this is the first thing that I would get over it. Like, I would not spend more than a month, probably two, but I would get it out of my system that, okay, it was an opportunity, but I messed it up and I was not able to crack IIT. That's fine. I mean, I have the full life in front of me. And one important thing is, while you are in the resentment zone in which you are just cribbing about things, you are actually missing a lot of opportunities. Okay, so I would never do that. I would just get over it, get it out of my system. Probably, if you have to cry or crib about it, just I would continuously do it for weeks, days. But then once I am done with it, I am done with it. Moving forward, I have only learned from it, and then I have to improve myself as a person. That should be the first focus that I will develop or cultivate within me. And now, since I know a lot of things about college life as well as software development, the next thing that I would realize is that it's very viral and trendy to see that how everyone just sits for coding interviews. I'm not sure like you have experienced this, but I have seen a lot of my friends, including me, have seen this trend that in the final year, almost everyone is preparing for coding interviews, just probably because they are really well-paying jobs as compared to other branches, or probably they realize that they really like coding towards the end of their college. So this is one thing which I would have realized within the first year itself. And this is a very important realization that I have 4 years in front of me. I think most of us lose this time in realizing that we actually want to prepare for coding interviews. By the time we realize this, we have already spent around 1.5 years. We have already spent around close to 1.5 to 2 years. And now we are only left with 2 years of college, and now we are trying to prepare for interviews. So that's the next thing. I would have set my priorities straight up front from the day one that, okay, the competition is going to be fierce and I have to prepare for coding interviews. The other thing is, I don't have to just compete within the students of my college, because if I am from a third year college, I know that my dream companies are not even going to visit my campus. All right. If I have to work at Amazon or Google, I know that they're not going to visit my campus. So I don't have just my batchmates to compete with. I have to get shortlisted. I have to apply offline. I would first prepare myself to the journey which lays in front of me, and I would then slowly and slowly pick up what are the things which I need to do to be able to get what I really want. The next wise decision that I would have carefully taken is about my company or friends. It's very important that the people you hang out with, they should have similar goals. Otherwise, it's quite difficult for you to work hard while your friends are judging you or saying you gissu or making fun of you. To stay positive in such an environment is also a skill, but probably it's a better decision to choose your friends wisely about who you let yourselves with, who you hang out with. And I don't think hard work is a quality which needs to be mocked upon. I think it's a very good quality, and people who really have big dreams, they really work hard for it. So with that in mind, I would have started my college life from day one, and I just can't imagine how much impactful my college life could have been this way. The next important thing to realize over here now is recruiters just have 10 seconds probably to scan your resume, right? So I need a story that my resume should tell. It should be very easy to navigate and very easy to access, and it should have direct demo links to the projects that I have done. All right. First of all, it should have projects. Like if I am just having a resume with my name, about me section, and my school marks or my college marks, it's not that really impressive. I would have definitely invested a lot in doing software internships, because they are the professional experience and they prove that I'm really interested as a software engineer and I am doing internships, and this is what I have done in those internships and this is what I have learned. Apart from that, I would also do projects, and not just simple like doing courses on YouTube and then just having a GitHub repository, but I would build on top of them and It can be as simple as a CRUD application, which is create, read, update, delete. I can connect a web page to a database, add some authentication to it so that users can log in, write some bunch of stuff, it gets stored to the database, they log in again, they can see that stuff, they can update it, and so on. Building even such things from scratch is very awesome. And for you to have this communication with the recruiter explaining your project, you need to have an impressive resume. So once you're learning a course, once you're learning a language, make some projects on top of that so that you also learn how to basically use what you have learned, and it will stay in your mind forever. If not forever, it will stay in your mind for a longer amount of time. Once you do that, add it to your GitHub repository as well as add it to your resume. If your resume is very easy to navigate, what I mean by that is you have done 3 projects. This is the source code, this is the demo link. It's very easy as a recruiter to just click and check it out what you have done and what you are all about. And make sure that whatever you are writing in your resume matches with those projects. Like you have done projects which show why you know some XYZ thing. All right. So this is how you should. This is how I would structure my resume if I was from a third year college and I want to get into my dream company as a software engineer. I would make sure that I'm working hard. I have professional experience, which adds credibility to my resume. I've also done projects, and not just projects that I can just talk about. I have the source code, I have the demo link, you just have to click and watch. All right, it's very easy and it shows a great amount of professionalism from a student. I would have my own website and things like they can go on and on in a step-by-step fashion, but that's how I would have started basically. Coming to the next point is very important. Like I know that recruiters have 10 seconds because if I'm applying off campus, I need a resume that is very easily able to sell my story that, hey, I'm this guy, I am interested in software engineering, these are the kind of internships I've done, these are the kind of projects I have done, you can click here and there. It adds some credibility and probably now I can get shortlisted for interviews, finally where I can start my interview process. And at that point of time, you will have 45 minutes and recruiter doesn't have more than that to judge you. He doesn't know you personally, he does not know the kind of hardships you have faced. He's just judging you in those 45 minutes. And at that point of time, it's very important for me to showcase my data structure and algorithm skills. So if I'm from tier 3 colleges, not only I'm doing projects so that I finally reach this point where I can use my data structures and algorithm skills to finally crack the interviews of Google or Microsoft. Remember that when you're going for big brands, they do judge your data structure algorithm skills when you are like really less experienced. For example, even if you have 1 year of experience, they will still judge you on based off your data structure algorithm skills. Otherwise, if you go to startups, and that's also a great way to start your career, and they might be judging you based on your web development or backend development skills or Android development skills. A big point to make over here is a lot of people or students are really hyped about machine learning, and what they do is basically just start doing Andrew NG course and then start building projects on top of that. I mean, the number of jobs on machine learning is really less in India, of course, and worldwide as well. The reason for that is a lot of problems that companies or startups or even big brands are trying to solve, they're easily or they only need software development to solve that. If I'm ordering food, of course I can have food recommendations, but the core is ordering food, which needs users to install the app, which needs users to log in, which needs users to finally search through restaurants, order, and they finally get delivered, they can do the tracking. A lot of problems which you really want to solve for now or probably in the next few years as well, they only need software development to solve that. I'm not saying that machine learning can't help, and of course there are some use cases which only machine learning can help. For example, face recognition. You can't do that kind of work just by doing probably backend development, right? Of course, they will also come into play. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of jobs will stay around software development. So as a fresher from third year college, of course, I would focus more on my dev skills. I would see how web pages are built, how HTML, CSS, JavaScript works, how backend data works, how authentication works, and all those kind of things. All right, how deployment works. Right, once you have an app, the outer world has to communicate with it. So how the internet works is also something which you should know, and you will eventually catch it on later point of time. But yeah, these are the kind of things which I would have invested my time in. Later on, I can probably, once I am in good shape or I have good confidence about my future, about my placement, probably that point of time I would take the risk or the luxury of learning ML finally. So yeah, I would have my prioritized list of what I want to do and I would follow that. And once I have completed everything, only then I can afford luxuries. That's my take. Of course, it might differ. Let me know in comments what you think about it. Now at this point of time, I think it's worth mentioning that a lot of you might be thinking that I just have 1 year left. how should I prepare now? Like my data structure algorithm skills, I'm not that good at it. How should I prepare? Now here is the twist. Never pressurize yourself into learning data structure algorithm skills. It takes time and you have to practice. If you have less time, you can probably go for paid courses so that you get a heads up or a head start about learning all such things. And then you have to practice. No course can simply give you the power of cracking interviews. You have to practice. You have to develop some skills. I would definitely spend my time doing around web development, building pages, having a good resume, having a GitHub profile, having demo links so that people can straight away click and check out my demos. And once I get shortlisted and my interview process starts, I would show my data structure algorithm skills. And at that point of time, communication is something which also comes into play. And I would ensure that during those 4 years, I am able to converse fluently in English, because that's the language which is most frequently used in interviews. Also, if you are fluent in English, it's a bonus point because a lot of companies now have their headquarters based in US. So a lot of meetings will happen with the US people, and they do care whether you are fluent in English or not. If they have to decide between two people who have exact same performance, they will of course go with the one who is also good in other things, and fluent in English is also one of the skill they might give weightage. So to sum up, these are the kind of things which I would have taken into consideration. But other than that, there is one more important point. As I'm saying, a lot of you might be wondering now how you should prepare. You have only 6 months, and what they do is they eventually get demotivated, and 3-4 months are just wasted. And then finally they do start studying again. They end up with a crappy job. What do you think? Would you continue working in such a company forever? Of course not. You will try to switch. You will try to switch within the next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and you will do it again offline. And since you have done resume work already in your past, you have a great resume, you don't have to worry about it anymore. All you have to worry about is data structure algorithm skills. So don't think that you just have 6 months in your college to end and that's a dead end. No, you will again give interviews maybe in the first 3 months, 4 months of your job. So it's a long journey, and preparing for data structure algorithm skills is never going to go waste. It's always going to make you a better programmer as well. But more importantly, it's going to help you in cracking interviews. So with that in mind, I think those 4 years, with having all such information in me, those 4 years would have been fantastic. And even if I am late, I know that eventually I will switch jobs. I have to give coding interviews. So even now, I would have started preparing for data structures and algorithms. And as I've said, since I am also applying offline, I know that a good resume is very important because people don't have time. Let's face it, everyone is busy interviewing. There are so many applications, so much of competition. So as a candidate, what we should do is make their life easy. So how you can do that? Just by having an attractive resume, which is simple to read and easy to access. It should be a Google Drive link, first of all. It should not be a PDF that everyone has to download or see. And you should have a website of your own. Things can go, like you can do all those professional things later on. But I mean, yeah, a student who is doing all such things, I would be really impressed to basically hire him or her. And I think it's really professionalism if they are already on the track of thinking such way. I mean, even even software engineers with 1 or 2 years of experience, even they are learning such things. So if a student is already showing this kind of professionalism, it's quite impressive. And that's what I would recommend, and try to build a story that is easy for people to read, relate, and judge you in a good fashion. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you like this video. If you have more doubts, drop them in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, happy coding, bye bye, and take care.